Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we really crack open fascinating sources and pull out the absolute must-know nuggets. We want to give you that inside track to being truly well-informed. Today, we're jumping headfirst into a technology that's just utterly transforming how we work and live, ChatGPT. But we're not just looking at the tech itself, no. We're diving into a really unique empirical study from Italy that explores how users actually perceive this powerful AI. Our mission today. It's to uncover this fascinating paradox, how people are, enthusiastically adopting ChatGPT for its incredible potential. Yet at the same time, they're grappling with its limitations and, frankly, the irreplaceable value of human qualities. We'll unpack the opportunities, the challenges, and even its broader societal implications. We'll connect them to big concepts like sustainability and individual well-being. And the best part, our deep dive is grounded in real human experience. It's a qualitative study based on 34 in-depth interviews. So let's explore this intricate dance between human and artificial intelligence. Okay, let's unpack this then before we get specifically into ChatGPT. What is artificial intelligence from the perspective of the people actually, using it day to day?
Yeah, it's fascinating how varied those user perceptions of AI really are. The study found the most common view, maybe about a third of the respondents, was seeing AI as this sort of autonomous information engine, something that learns and processes all on its own. But close behind that, many just saw it as a powerful tool, something to support human effort, which highlights a very practical view, right? Not so existential. And then a smaller group defined AI as systems that mimic human thought, things like reasoning, creativity. It's interesting, too, the most used AI tools they mentioned were the common ones like Alexa, Siri, and of course ChatGPT, but also others like Cactus AI, which is often used for academic writing support, and DALL-E, for generating images from text.
So AI means different things to different people, clearly. But regardless of the definition, what were the big wins and the major pitfalls of AI generally that people agreed on?
Well, on the benefit side, simplifying operations came up a lot. A significant number mentioned that. But the overwhelming theme was really speed. Rapid problem resolution, quick response times, those were hugely valued. Many also highlighted getting more accessible information, seeing AI as this kind of gateway to vast knowledge.
Right.
These general AI tools, people saw them as incredibly useful for tasks like, say, supporting consumers or even improving healthcare efficiency. But then you absolutely have the flip side. And the concerns here were, well, quite stark. The top worry, and this was expressed by almost every 130 of them, in fact, was a potential replacement of human labor and a resulting increase in unemployment. That really suggests a profound anxiety about AI's impact on work,
This
doesn't it?
really does.
Beyond that, a notable number worried about the absence of human interaction. And some felt individuals might become, less stimulated, maybe too reliant if they lean too heavily on these tools.
All right, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Zooming in on ChatGPT specifically, the study found this just astonishing rate of adoption in Italy. What do we know about who these early adopters were? What drove that huge surge?
That's right. The adoption rate was incredibly fast. I mean, just in January 2023, ChatGPT had over 1.4 million users in Italy. And the demographic skew is quite pronounced. Most of these early users, they were young men, aged between 15 and 24.
Wow.
Yeah, it suggests a younger, probably more tech-savvy group was really quick to jump on board.
That's a massive number in such a short time frame.
Mm.
So beyond just the sheer scale of adoption, what were people actually doing with ChatGPT in Italy? What were the main uses?
The uses were surprisingly varied, actually. The most common one, cited by nearly 20 people in the study, was producing manuscripts.
Yeah.
Anything from creative writing to professional documents. In teaching, a smaller group, about 5 individuals, were actively using it to generate papers, even design tests.
Mm.
And maybe a bit unexpectedly for some, we also saw groups using it for really practical, everyday things, like getting cooking recipes.
Okay.
And even in the health field, as a source of information, again, about 5 individuals mentioned that. Now, when it came to recommending ChatGPT, the majority who would recommend it, they did so because it significantly increased their productivity and speed,
Mm.
especially for drafting texts and for learning new topics quickly.
Makes sense.
But a sizable group, 13 individuals, they'd recommend it for knowledge, sure, but they have strong reservations about the reliability of the information, and that's a crucial point that just keeps coming up.
Right. So putting aside the initial curiosity and all those different uses,
Yeah.
what were the tangible sort of day-to-day benefits users specifically highlighted for ChatGPT? What really stood out to them?
Efficiency. That was the undisputed champion in the study. Time saving was by far the most emphasized benefit. Almost all respondents cited it.
Almost all.
Yeah, And closely linked to that was the speed of response. Users just loved how quickly ChatGPT could churn out information or, complete tasks. Access to a wide range of information was also highly valued. And interestingly, accurate answers was also seen as a benefit by a small but significant group, about 6 respondents. Despite the broader reliability concerns we need to talk more about,
Right.
it really highlights that in many cases, users did find the information helpful and seemingly correct as for their purposes.
But like you said, with any powerful tool, there's that crucial flip side. What were the big risks? The major concerns these Italian users identified with ChatGPT itself?
The top risks they identified were remarkably consistent,
Wow.
and they really underscore that core tension we mentioned earlier. The overwhelming concern, again from all 30 respondents, was about the reliability, the truthfulness of the information provided.
All 30 again.
Yeah. This often ties into what we, in the AI world, sometimes call hallucinations,
Yeah.
where the AI confidently just makes stuff up, basically, because it's extrapolating beyond its verifiable training data. Next, a significant number worried about their personal data being disseminated. And a notable group, 17, I think, explicitly raised concerns about a lack of privacy. Other serious concerns included potential addiction to the technology, its power to distort reality, even leading to, alienation from reality.
Wow, that's heavy stuff, which raises a really important question. Digging a bit deeper, how did users actually perceive ChatGPT's reliability, transparency, privacy, and safety?
Yeah.
These are, foundational trust elements for any new tech.
Right, and this is where the perspectives get really nuanced. It's not black and white. Take reliability. Some users genuinely thought it was reliable, based on their own positive experiences, right?
Yeah.
They found it gave truthful, accurate answers, especially if they framed their questions really precisely.
Right.
But on the other hand, a substantial number deemed it unreliable,
Yeah.
precisely because it pulls information from these huge internal archives where, the original source or the truthfulness just can't be independently checked.
No way to verify.
Exactly. Then for transparency, the consensus was largely negative. Many viewed it as simply not transparent because the source of the information is unknown. This lack of attribution was a huge concern for verification.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Regarding privacy, the vast majority, 22 respondents, saw it as not complying with privacy regulations. They highlighted that it sometimes asks for personal information and it operates in this kind of unregulated space. However, some did believe it respected privacy, but only if the questions asked didn't contain any personal data.
A big if.
A very big if. The study itself makes it clear that privacy can be violated if personal info is shared, intentionally or not. And finally, on safety. Many users perceived it as unsafe, suggesting it could distort reality, maybe alienate individuals. They stressed the need for training on how to use it correctly and safely. Yet you have this contrasting view holding it as safe, arguing that, well, it doesn't collect personal information actively and conversations happen in a, quote, protected virtual environment. It just truly highlights the wide spectrum of perceptions users have about this technology's fundamental trustworthiness.
The study also went beyond just the individual interactions, didn't it? Looking at bigger picture questions like how users see ChatGPT impacting individual and community well-being, and even sustainable development, which is so vital now.
Yes, absolutely. For individual and community well-being, users largely believe ChatGPT promotes it, mainly by democratizing knowledge, right? Expanding access to information for everyone. They also saw it significantly speeding up activities and processes, which in turn could lead to more free time, maybe less stress for individuals, a direct link to well-being there.
Okay, that's the positive spin.
Right. But it's worth noting, a small but vocal group offered the counter-argument. They felt that while it broadens knowledge, it also risks reducing essential human interaction, which is, of course, another crucial aspect of well-being.
That's a really valid point, and one you hear debated a lot. What about its potential for promoting sustainable development? How did users think this new tool could contribute to those critical global goals?
Well, users identified a really diverse range of potential contributions to sustainable development. It was quite optimistic, actually. They envisioned ChatGPT providing innovative solutions for social and environmental problems. For example, by analyzing environmental data to suggest actions for reducing our ecological footprint or maybe improving energy efficiency.
Interesting.
It could also, they thought, support governments and policymakers, maybe in finding resources for less developed countries or aiding in providing renewable energy, boosting productivity, optimizing complex decisions. They even saw it reducing waste, like physical waste, paper usage through digital transformation, and potentially even monitoring food spoilage to help reallocate products before they go bad.
Wow, that's quite specific.
Yeah. Furthermore, they believed it could aid in designing and implementing more efficient renewable energy systems and smart city planning, also enabling predictive maintenance for machinery, to prevent breakdowns and reduce energy waste, and even helping protect ecosystems by identifying pollutants or other contamination factors.
So a remarkably positive view of its kind of green potential then.
Very much so. A lot of perceived potential there.
Okay, let's zoom in a bit. How did users envision ChatGPT fitting into different professional fields? Let's start with the business world. What specific applications did they see for it there?
In a business context, users really saw ChatGPT as a potential game changer for collecting consumer information, for instance, to create more tailor-made services. They also thought it could significantly support personnel recruitment and customer assistance. And of course, automating those repetitive tasks that don't really need direct human interaction.
And were there specific sectors they highlighted?
Yes. They pinpointed specific sectors where they thought it would be most useful. Telecommunications and IT, naturally. Human resources for candidate selection, evaluation, marketing for profiling, data collection, and customer assistance. Optimizing service, reducing wait times, improving performance overall. They also felt it could broadly improve service quality. By deeply analyzing consumer needs for customized products, maybe making production processes more transparent, and significantly boosting customer satisfaction through just really rapid service delivery.
Okay. What about more critical fields like healthcare? That's obviously a very sensitive area. What stood out to you about how users would or wouldn't trust ChatGPT there?
Healthcare. Yeah, the sentiment was notably cautious, very conditional. Users said they would only trust ChatGPT if they had complete assurance about the source and the reliability of the data it provided. Complete assurance.
Right, high bar. Right.
Very high bar. It's seen strictly as a support tool for doctors and nurses, maybe assisting with diagnoses, potentially reducing errors, helping develop personalized treatments, but definitively not as a replacement for human professionals. Yeah. Absolutely not. And the study itself, it actually highlighted cases where ChatGPT generated incorrect or maybe incomplete information in healthcare contexts, which just reinforces that widespread caution.
Understandable. And the legal field, similar caution there. Would users trust ChatGPT to act as, say, a lawyer or even a judge?
Oh, in the legal field, there was a very strong, very clear consensus.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No reliance solely on ChatGPT for roles like a lawyer or judge.
Unequivocal then.
Completely. Users really emphasized that human interaction, the need for continuous updating on complex legal nuances, intellectual reasoning, and the unique human capacity for judgment, they're all crucial, irreplaceable.
Yeah.
So again, it's universally perceived as a support tool, something to assist legal professionals perhaps, but never ever to supersede the human figure in such critical roles.
Okay. Finally, the education sector. Another area with, you'd think, huge potential for AR. How did users see it supporting the university system or students?
Here, the perceptions were overwhelmingly positive, much more positive than healthcare or legal. Users believe it can significantly support the education system, helping gather information for curriculum development, maybe delivering more engaging lessons, even better understanding individual students' needs.
And for the students themselves?
For students, yeah, huge potential seen there too, enabling much faster, more comprehensive research. It's seen as facilitating understanding, fostering creative processes, helping assimilate complex information. It can even improve the overall study experience, maybe help create personalized tests. Essentially, it's viewed as this powerful ally for both teachers and students right through the entire learning phase.
Interesting contrast to the other fields.
It is. But even here, I'd say, across all these sectors, business, healthcare, legal, education, the overarching sentiment from the study consistently shows ChatGPT is viewed as a support tool. It's not seen as a direct replacement for human figures, especially in areas where empathy, critical thinking, nuanced human interaction, and crucially, verifiable truth are paramount.
So to kind of bring it all together, this deep dive has really shone a light on a core fascinating tension, hasn't it? On one hand, users see ChatGPT as this incredibly helpful, incredibly efficient tool. It simplifies tasks, it saves time, it vastly expands access to knowledge. It's a powerful enabler, no doubt. But at the exact same time, there's this keen, almost instinctive awareness of its significant limitations, particularly around reliability, around privacy, and the sense of the irreplaceable need for genuine human connection and empathy in our professional and personal lives.
Exactly. That sums it up perfectly. Despite its huge potential, and all the ways users envision it, promoting sustainability and well-being, The Italian interviewees in this particular study, they're clearly not ready to fully rely on AI, where that human empathy, that personalization is crucial. And this really connects back to the broader global conversation, doesn't it, about the need for robust governance, ethical regulation, ongoing training
Right.
to ensure we use AI responsibly and safely for the benefit of everyone. It aligns perfectly with, say, the UN's view on AI's role essential, but needing careful management in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. It's really a call for both innovation and responsibility, walking hand in hand.
So thinking about the future, as AI like ChatGPT becomes even more deeply integrated into our lives, how do you, listening right now, think we can best leverage its undeniable power and efficiency, while simultaneously safeguarding those absolutely essential human qualities of empathy, critical thinking, and importantly, verifiable truth, something to definitely mull over?